Here we are. Welcome to our Facebook Live on Tuesday at 10 a.m. We are here shining on what time? Can you even stand it? What I love. So happy thriving Tuesday. Happy thriving Tuesday. We are here. We are sending out positive energy to the world, to everybody that's watching this. We just hope and put out nothing but thriving energy in a positive way, in a productive way, in a restorative way, in a loving and compassionate way. And we thank you all for taking the opportunity to join us today. Before I get started, my name is Nikki Martinez. My pronouns are she, her, we, formerly incarcerated. Yes, right here with Youth Empowerment. We want to give a huge shout out. Happy birthday to a few people. Happy birthday, Junior. Happy birthday, bro. We celebrating your life here at Youth Empowerment. Trust that. Want to send a happy birthday shout out to Ebony, our queen in the resilience program, one of our phenomenal mentors. Happy birthday to you as well. Whoever else is celebrating your beautiful lives, thank you so much for living and breathing. Make sure you thank your parents for giving you life. Make sure that you deposit something amazing into this world as you live and celebrate your life today. But a big happy celebration, birthday, living a new life. Oh my God, anniversary for Mr. Arthur Soriano. Absolutely.
No, thank you. Thank you. And I also want to give out a birthday shout out to Freddie Rios, also known as Cubby. I know you be listening, but you don't comment, man. Because he told me you were listening one time and you wanted to comment, but you didn't when Juan Flores was in the webinar. So even if you don't comment and like, but you're still viewing us and you're feeling inspired, that's what this is all about. We just want you guys to get words of hope, inspiration, and just have thriving communities and build your personal history of a story, of a narrative of healing from trauma and becoming resilient. Yes, I've been out 7 years. I just want to thank God for just giving me that strength. Life has not been easy. This has all been hard work, and trust and believe that I struggle just as much as you do. So getting to our show today.
Hold on. Before you get all willy-nilly, I have a quote to send us on our way.
Okay,
now put it out. Okay. Put it out, boss. Okay. Sheesh. I just want to be very mindful. I think about all of the different conversations that we've had with so many different folks and everything it is that they've experienced as far as trauma, life experiences, and their resilience to overcome and to defeat anything that chooses to tear them down in their lives. And when I think about that, I think of the mind. The mind is a powerful thing, right? And with that, we can make things happen. And so with that, I want to start out with a quote, and it says, your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. So I think that with that being said, a lot of times, depending on what it is that we're allowing to be deposited into our ears, ultimately transfers to our thoughts and what that thought pattern is going to look like. The power of thought is amazing. So I encourage all of you to take a moment to give yourself a powerful, solid affirmation today, because if you start thinking it, then you can believe it, and then we achieve it, right? So with that being said, I want to just throw that out there. We want to thank our guest speaker today, Mr. Rudy Arias, for showing up, blessing us with his presence. He's going to bless us with a phenomenal linkage and lineage into what has transformed his life, what has led up to him making the decisions that he made, and where he is at today as a powerful man that's amazing in our community, that is doing stellar work and just depositing with every interaction that he has, depositing nothing but love, God's love, his peace, everywhere he goes. Every interaction that I have had with him has been nothing but life fulfilling and rewarding. So with that being said, I will pass it over to Arthur.
No, thank you, Nikki. And as you know, like, we don't put a narrative to this, but Nikki always starts with the quote, and I reflect off that quote, and off a reflection off that quote, I put it into our discussion of our webinar. So when she's talking about the mind, right? And we're talking about power, and we're talking about uh, Rudy's narrative that we're going to get into in a little bit. But being in Pelican Bay shoe in isolation had the capacity of breaking his mind too. But also, isolation had there's power in that too, because you have your thoughts, your mind. For individuals that are paroling, reentering back into community, you have all the time in the world to think of what your direction is going to be. And Rudy Arias, like, he got out in 2007, I believe, 2008. Yeah, right. And we were in the shoe together for 10 years, and in the same block, different pods, but never physically seen each other, not one time. Just voices, right? Of sharing canteen, letters, messages. That was our forms of communication. So Rudy found power in that, and he didn't let his mind be broken, right? That he's gonna come out, and when we're talking about leading change in East San Diego, right? What I mean by that is when he paroled, he stayed out. He didn't go to no programming or nonprofits organization. He just did his thing, got a job at NASCO, and by him role modeling that, right after like a lot of individuals like myself, trials and tribulations, we were like, hey man, Rudy stayed out. Like, why can't I do that too? So that's the power of influence that he's had in our neighborhood and other neighborhoods and San Diego County. So I'm just thrilled to have him here today, being present with us and just sharing narrative and just communicating. I look up to him. I love him as a brother, and I thank God for his path. So Rudy, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your history, of your upbringing, whatever you want to share, homeboy.
Okay, first and foremost, I want to thank you and Nikki and our Lord and Savior above, because if it wasn't for you guys, it wouldn't be possible for me to be here today. And I just want you guys to know that I'm humbled by your kind words. That's what inspires me, because it shows me that people do appreciate what one does out here. So I just wanted to thank you guys. I'm very humble and I love you guys very much. Getting to the point, what you wanted to talk about was my transformation. When I was in the seventh grade, that's when I started getting in to gangs, East San Diego. And what happened was I was very good at sports, baseball especially. So my upbringing was at Highland Park. Now it's Rosa Parks. And what I was doing was playing baseball, little league, growing up like a normal kid. But I had this thing that I was uh, where I was when I seen the gang, when I seen some of the older homies, it just made me feel, wow, man, I think I might want to be a part of this. And as time went on, I got to the point where curiosity killed the cat, because I went and did a few little things. So by the time I was in ninth grade, I was in and out of juvenile hall already. And then after that had happened, I graduated. I calmed down for a little bit. I graduated from junior high school, went to Hoover High School. And like I said, I had good skills, played baseball. It's like Robert Ontiveros. And what happened was I changed my life for a couple of years. I got into the sports in high school, all CIF, all that stuff, the accolades that came along with it. But as soon as I graduated, I started living the double life again. I started gang banging. I lived right across the street from Hoover High School. I mean, from Highland Park. So right when that started happening, I ended up catching a case. I ended up in Soledad at the age of 18. By the time I was causing all the rhetoric in there, I ended up with a 5 to life, and that was under the old law. Then the SB 42 came in effect in 77, and it gave me a good time work time date. So I ended up doing 5 on that case. But during that, I got caught up in the politics. That intrigued me, in the prison politics. So I started getting adapted as a 19-year-old. I got pulled under the wing, and they started teaching me the politics, because just as well as I do, Nikki, Arturo, when you go to prison, there's no, I mean, you can get rehabilitated if you're gonna dig down inside like Nikki did, you did, Arturo, and I did once you're isolated. But at the beginning, you're like a little kid in a candy store. At the candy store, you're running around and you want to be in all you want to be in everybody's mess because you're trying to make a name for yourself. That's what I did, and I ended up in quitting. They shipped me, sent me to the hole in Soledad. I ended up in quitting at the age of 20. And when I got there, the homies told me, "Pump your brakes, dude. We don't do that here. Only when it's totally necessary." So I got the schooling, the knowledge, the education. I came out of the SHU, which was the adjustment center in Quinton. I paroled 1980, came out, came out to the neighborhood, and everybody was like looking up to me, hey man, that's the homie right there. He just got outside Quinton out of the hole. So that's when the politics started kicking in. I said, you know what? I love my hood. We're gonna put this hood on the map. So we implemented and institutionalized all the political things that needed to be done. Just like if we were in prison, what was going? The money passing, going and collecting and doing all that stuff. Well, as that went on, then I had a B number, 83526. Well, that was back in the old days to where you only had to do a year tail. So when I paroled in 1980, my parole was only 8 months. They put my paperwork into Sacramento and I discharged. 7 months later, I caught a C number, C52289. I kept that from 81 to 90. When I paroled when I discharged that number in 90, a year later in 91, I picked up my E number, 79060. So I was on my way going through the alphabet. And I said, whoa, man. I said, I was so into the politics that I got validated in the meantime in the process. I mean, it was starting to really, really get to me. And I said, I have no peace of mind no more. Everywhere I go, when I come home, when I parole, you go somewhere, put the ankle bracelet on you, the whole 9 yards. It got tiresome, man. It started wearing me out. But the last trip was 1998 when I got busted on the corner of 41st and Landis on a $20 street sales. I get to county jail, George Bailey. They give me a 3-strike packet. I said, you got the wrong person. This is not a nonviolent crime. The last violent crime I had was in 1975. So got an attorney, took it all the way to Superior. Finally, I got a deal. They gave me 13 years with 80% on a $20 street sales. And I said, whoa, the game has changed. It didn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. And I said, the game has changed. Rudy, you better start planting some seeds right now and figure this out for this next 13 years, how you're going to do this, because you ain't going to a main line. So like I said, went to Donovan, got slammed as soon as I got off the bus. Then they shot me to Tehachapi SHU. I stayed there 18 months. And from Tehachapi SHU, I went to the Bay and did my last 10 with Arturo. And me and Arturo, like he said, were side by side. The only communication we had for 10 years was just, hey, homeboy, I got a Christmas package coming. Hey, homeboy, I'm going to canteen. I'll shoot you some coffee. Do you need any cosmetics? That was our only way of communication. And that system there is to break you, Arturo knows when you go to committee once a year, they wanted your ID on the table while you were shackled. And the first question they would ask you, and you remember, Arturo, are you ready to debrief? And that just made me stronger. The way I walked in this place is the way I'm going to walk out of here, with my dignity. You're not going to humiliate me here. So that's what happened. So once I paroled, 2008, my dad had passed away.
Hey, Rudy, I got a question for you. Because while you were in Pelican Bay experimenting inhumane isolation, torture, system-induced trauma, the walls are painted a certain way to break you mentally. The effects of mental health, individuals losing their minds, beginning to talk to themselves, committing suicide. There's just, the list goes on and on and on with all the traumas and the mental health that's happening. And you're right, they purposely there to break you and debrief you, to break your mind down. And you paroled, what were you thinking then while you were in isolation? Of where do you want to go and how are you going to get there? What was going through your mind?
I was having my private conversations I was in my cell, the one where I was at, remember? And there, I was in that cell 8.5 years. They had me behind plexiglass because I had an assault on an officer. So they single celled me. They wouldn't give me a cellie. So the thing is it gave me a lot of idle time to do some soul searching, not having to worry. I was blessed, not having to worry to have a cellie where I couldn't get on my hands and knees and pray, to where I couldn't ask God and have my little private conversation. I don't know how to do this, God. Can you show me the way? I didn't know how to surrender. I was planting that seed already because I said, what do you go from here? I'm tired of being tired and sick of being sick. When I paroled at 52 years old with cancer. So that was another thing that made me say, whoa, what am I going to do here, man? I'm not going to die back here. This isn't what I want. Why? I used to ask God, why me? And then I thought to him, Rudy, you put yourself in this situation, but God has sent you on a journey. And I don't want to get too spiritual here, but I'm just saying, I knew God sent me on a journey, and it was to go through the pain, the heartache, the trial, the tribulations, because I still didn't know what my purpose was until you guys showed me. When I got out, you guys started planting that seed in my head, telling me, man, all the street credibility you got, all the knowledge and wisdom you got.
But no, wait up, Rudy, because I came into the picture way later.
Yeah,
so,
well, you came in later.
Yeah,
but
so you were already role modeling and doing your thing of being.
But Pastor was a big part of that. Pastor was a big part of it because he was coming and feeding me and trying to get me to church. And I said, no, baby steps, man. I'm not ready. I had the ankle bracelet on me. I asked them, are you going to take it off in a year? They said, no, you're going the whole 3 years with it. So I went the whole 3 years.
And why weren't you ready?
Why wasn't I ready?
Yeah, when he was trying to get you to the
because church. I said to myself, I got to do some soul searching. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it 150%.
Was it image too?
Most of all, you just hit the nail on the head. 99.9 was I didn't want the homies to say the old man got soft and he went out backwards. But I thought about it. I said, I went in through that front door in the Bay and I came out the front door. So why am I going to worry about an image? If the homies really love me and respect me, they're going to say, man, I am so happy for the old man. He's going to lead us back to normalcy again. And so I said, all that exhaust, all that energy and stuff I used to exhaust on the politics, why can't having one-on-one conversations with Pastor, why can't I do this in a positive form? And then Robert came into the picture. Then Junior came into the picture. Then when you got out of Corcoran, you came to see me and I told you, are you done? And you looked at me and you said, I'm done. Remember I called you? I said, Arturo, if you want to roll with me, you got to clean. You got to be clean. I told him, I'm not going back to that hellhole because Nikki, you, Arturo, myself, we're miracles from the depths of hell. Believe that. We're miracles from the depths of hell. And if God gave us that grace and gave us a second chance in life, like them lifers used to tell me, and Nikki even said it, give me your shoes and you take my shoes and I guarantee you I won't come back. That was my motivation. Man, if this dude's telling me this and he's all that in a bag of frozen burritos, and he's telling me to go out here, pick up the Bible and do what evidently this is what I'm going to do now. So all those seeds were planted. They played a big part in my transformation.
So you had people from the inside that began to plant seeds, people of status. I'm talking about members like,
from us having to stay away from certain words, you know what I'm talking about. And people that have been incarcerated, when I say somebody with all that and they were a bag of frozen burritos, they should know what we're talking about.
They were planting seeds.
Yes.
So mentorship, like, hey, you're going to get out, do the right thing. And, that happened to me too. This last time, I went to Corcoran Shoe. I knew I was done. I had made up my mind. Went through the process, did 16 months, my last 3 months there before I came down on parole 7 years ago. And I remember being in the new dog cages, the pull-up bars, the dip bars were in there. And I would go out there and I would communicate with everybody and I'd be like, man, I love you guys, man, but this ain't for me no more, man. And the warmth, like, man, just go out there and do your thing. Like, go live life. And so them seeds, and I was like, man, you're right. And so I was inspired from the inside.
Yes.
to come out here and push for myself, for my family. And I didn't know how I was going to do things, but that inspired me because everything's the image. You know, when you live that lifestyle,
Yeah.
you lived it for so long. Um, you don't want people to look at you a certain way. But for us, Rudy and I, like, we've been supported and embraced and loved. And the voices inside that are connecting back with us out here is, man, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Like I want to be a mentor. Like I want to do the right thing. So by you leading the way, Rudy, you brought a lot of inspiration, not only to East San Diego, but to other communities and all the community inside prison. So I just wanted to let you know that. So how has your journey been since you've been out?
My journey, I wouldn't trade, like I said, when the transformation started, it started what? I'm 65 now. I got out in 2008 at the age of 52. I really got to say that it really the gear shifted when I was about 57, 58. That's when I made up my mind. I said, this is over with. I've done, I know now what I want to do. I want to mentor. I want to surrender myself to our Lord and Savior because I can't guide my life. I wasn't able to guide my life. So let me let him do it. So I have my own personal relationship with God. I'm one of them kind of dudes that I'm not going to Bible bust you, I'm not going to read scriptures to you. I have my own personal relationship with God and it's good for me. And I'm happy with it because I got my peace of mind, my tranquility. I don't have to worry about nothing no more. So I'd say in the last 7 years, Arturo and Nikki, I mean, it's like I feel like I died and went to heaven because I have no problems. The only problems I have are my personal problems, but I put those in God's hands too. But as far as gang banging and doing all that, that don't exist no more. And that's why I tell the homies. I used to be worried about my image. But no, the only one I'm worried about, and I always tell everybody, I only fear two people in this world now, in this order, God and my wife. After that, I'm good. You know what I mean? God and my wife in that order.
Yeah. And I would never think that, you know, you would be hired or youth empowerment would be youth empowerment, but you were hired as a community mentor for resilience and you passed the probation background, which I'm telling you right now, all their probation backgrounds lately, whoo, like no one's being accepted, right? They're on this grind where like they're getting really detailed. So for you to be a mentor, you know, you had a part-time position with youth empowerment, you passed the backgrounds, all that with everything that's on your history. And you know, you had to like leave because workers' comp and you know your work history with your employment and everything. But to me, that's a big accomplishment. Not only that, but everything that you've done since you've been out of being a leader and transferring all them skills that you've had, which skills are you're a great communicator. You make people feel good about themselves when you communicate with them. You inspire them. You teach them. You give them wisdom. You give them understanding. So to me, those are all skills that you had in that lifestyle that now you're transferring for something beautiful that's everlasting, right? And so I appreciate that.
Thank
Um,
you.
what's your direction? Like, what do you want, man? Because man, you're already gonna pull retirement, huh?
I'm pulling retirement right now. Right now, my process is I'm waiting on a compensation settlement from my job, 13 years there. The work-related injury is they did two shoulder replacements, put a titanium socket joint with screws. So I'm limited now. So they got to compensate me. But right now, I'm getting my retirement and I'm getting workman's comp for the last 16 months. But now I'm waiting to get permanently disabled. It's in process. So I asked them already, can I work? They told me light restricted duty. I explained to them I have my mentoring and all that. Or could I get a janitor job or a Walmart job as a door greeter? They said anything that is light restricted duty and your employer proves that you're not going to be doing no heavy lifting, that's what you can do. But I don't want all that. What I want to continue doing what I'm doing and be a part of youth empowerment, be a part of Pasture and the wraparound to where my reward is seeing a smile on a kid's face or even a homie when he gets out, because it's like Nikki said last week, when we get out, we feel lonely and deserted, that you got nobody there, man. Your self-esteem is low. You're doubting yourself. You're saying, how long am I going to be out here before I get picked up? So my direction right now, Arturo, is I just want to continue, because this is my reward. When, like the mentee I have now from Youth Empowerment, we're cut from the same cloth, but that's my worship with him. Calls me five times a week, every day or every other day, and we have such good conversations that he is my motivation and I'm his motivation, because we talk about all that garbage, about not reminisce, we talk about all that garbage we left, and it feels good not to be there no more.
Yeah.
So my direction is to continue doing what I'm doing to help the youth and homies that are getting out.
Yeah, that's powerful because your mentees around your age, share lived experience, same path, and for you to be able to connect with him is powerful. Earlier we were talking about Nikki, and you know how when she's going on 2 years out. How did you feel with this firecracker got out? Like, what was going through your mind, man?
I remember clearly, man. Clearly, we were at the wraparound, me, you, Blink, everybody sitting at the table, and then this new girl comes walking in, and everybody says, "Man, she's pretty." Said, "Where's she been hiding at?" Then the rumor started coming around. Not a rumor, the truth started coming out. Oh man, she just got out after doing 25 years. Everybody was whispering. I said, "Whoa, man, this girl did 25." So she wasn't carrying herself like that. She was carrying herself like a regular woman of society. So when I seen her and she started getting into all the stuff, when we were having our little mentoring meetings and the way she carried herself, I said, this girl's going to become something. And I just want to say, Nikki, I mean, I say it over and over. I tell my wife all the time, when I see you on Facebook, I said, this is my adopted daughter now, because you are a daughter that a father would always want, because now you've proved society wrong. Not that you came out here to prove them wrong. You knew what you wanted. You ended up going at a young age and you came out, and my God, I got nothing but the utmost respect for you, young lady. I mean that. You motivate me. When I see you doing things, I say, man, this is how we should all be, you know? So I just want you to know, girl, you're appreciated, and it don't go in.
Same, right back at you. Your love, your inspiration, your words, the way you embraced me, the way you welcomed me, your genuine spirit and your genuine regard is what made me feel welcome and always made me feel like it was okay to go back. So it's right back. It's mutually exactly the love, the respect, the regard, the family component of it all is just definitely reciprocated to you double fold. You and Joe, I just appreciate you guys so much. Seriously.
Yeah, no, that's powerful, the influence that people could have on you. And look at Rudy, and I felt the same way, Rudy. Like with Nikki, I was like, man, who's this firecracker coming out here just on fire, right? And she just made herself available, right? And then was at the table every time she needed to be at the table.
I was telling somebody the other day, it was just like whether I think I was talking to Reggie about it the other day, and I was just like, whether I had a seat at the table, whether I got the invite to the table, I knew there was a table and I was going to show up to that table. I brought my own folding chair. If I didn't have a chair at the table, I was going to bring my folding chair at the table, because it was important to me. I saw the value in everything it is that you guys did. The heart that was in it, your guys' genuine souls were brought, even when, and that's the important part of understanding, even when nobody's looking, people are watching. People can feel that genuine spirit. People can feel that love. And it was just permeating off of you guys when I was in your guys' presence. And I knew that I wanted to be around that. Why? Because I want to be around something that's going to nurture my soul. And that's what you guys did for me. And then I seen how you guys didn't just do it for me. You guys did it for everybody you guys came in contact with. Everybody, whether it be probation, law enforcement, youth, family, strangers, anybody and everybody that you guys interacted with, man, it was like the red carpet and confetti coming from the sky of just goodness. And I knew I needed a dose of that. And I knew I needed that in my life. And what it is that you guys were giving back was mind blowing. And that's why I had to fly. I was telling Reggie that I missed out on work when I was working on the shipyard, when I was working at Roadrunner. I hadn't even been through my 90-day evaluation yet. And I was making it a point to skip work. Why? Because I would much rather go somewhere and not get paid, but sit in the presence of great company, of great leadership, of great mentors, because I knew you guys had it. I knew you guys had it.
And Nikki, like, you're another one that passed background. I'm another one. We're all other ones right here, right? And so, like, I remember, like, because Nikki's still on parole, but our core back then was Jason Druxman, and which is a great friend of youth empowerment. Love him. And we would go to all these meetings before resilience became a program. And like my first thing was like, she was there at the table. And I would be like, hey, you know what? We need to recruit Nikki. She's currently on parole, but like she's gonna be a great asset to the community and the youth that we serve. And so being at the table and present and making that presence, I believe had a big influence in passing backgrounds and everything with all our records of just being there. Like my mom always said, if you're not at the table, you're at the menu.
Yeah.
And I can't stand being at the menu. I want to be at the table because being at the table is going to help uplift our people. Rudy, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, the thing with Nikki is when she came in, a lot of people talk. We all do. It's just human nature. But she walked that walk when she was talking that talk. And when she sat down, she was about action. And now she showed it. She didn't come out here flossing her skills, her background, everything she did inside there, her search and all that. She said, I'm going to let my actions go ahead and speak for itself. And look where she's at today.
Okay, so this is more about Rudy, though. So we're going to pass the buck. And thank you very much for your acknowledgement. I appreciate it. But really, Rudy, you're the star of the show. So thank you for being here.
She just has that, like, that touch. Hey, it is what it is. But
keeping it real, homeboy.
That's all.
But I'd just like to add the last part. I mean, I don't know how much longer this is going, but I just want to put this in there, and it's about myself, that anybody that's watching this, youth, adults, everybody, there comes a time in life, man, when you get tired of being tired and sick of being sick, man. And when you hit that part, man, it's time to change. You can do it, man. Look what we've done. We're proof, man. And, like I tell everybody, it's not easy. I disengaged myself when last month was 13 years out on the 29th of March. That was my 13-year anniversary.
Wow. Congratulations.
And thank you. Joni, my sister, calls me like if it's my birthday. My brother calls me like it's my birthday. They say, you know what today is? And I go, no. They go, today's your 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th year out. Because all the mother from the age of 18 to 52, the longest I had ever been out was maybe 6 months, 7 months. And that was on the run. So now they've seen what I've done with my life and where I'm coming from. And that's why I try to tell all these kids, man, and even adults, man, there's that lifestyle representing a street sign. At that moment, you think it's good. That belongs to the city, man. That don't belong to us, man. The thing is that exhaust your energies and everything that you do for your family, for your mom, for your dad, for yourself, and for the community, man, so that your grandkids and whoever else is coming behind you, it's a safer place. Look how Eastside used to be. Eastside was real bad at one time, but now we have a communication skill with everybody there. And when we see something going wrong or going down wrong, we speak our piece because I love my neighborhood. I'll never denounce my neighborhood. I was a gang member for Eastside for 46 years, but now I'm a mentor now. And the thing is I tell the homies, I love the hood. So now I'm going to beautify it as much as I can. Instead of causing all that rhetoric we used to do, I'm going to beautify the neighborhood so that when we're gone, that our family members, the kids and everything, they can walk in a safe neighborhood.
That's a great point, brother. Like, I also love my neighborhood, and like, I needed to find how to get back into my neighborhood without going back to jail, right? And so the community therapy was a big role in my life on how the healing and the resilience took place in my life. But you mentioned a great point. and me and Reggie always talk about this, you know, he brings it up. Like our neighborhood has a different dynamic than a lot of other neighborhoods because we have a lot of individuals that have gotten out that lifestyle that are now doing great things, like mentorship, leaders. I could go on and on. Robert Altaverro, Swan, Pastor Jesus, Rudy, myself, Juan Valderrama, and the list goes on and on and on with all these individuals that were, you know, grown up in all these different type of traumas that are now resilient human beings and doing great things. So we've been able to create that culture within this neighborhood. And people saying, how are you doing it? How does that happen? They ask. And it's just out of love, hope, connection, and relationships. What do you think about that, Rudy?
It's a beautiful thing because if you remember, you mentioned it last week or the week before, the vision that we had 5-6 years ago at Toronto Park. And when you guys adopted me and introduced me to it, you started asking me when we were doing those little clippings for that crew from LA that was coming down and videoing us. And it just made me see, wow, man, we can do this. This is a vision that can become reality, man. If we exhaust our energies on the positivity now, instead of the negativity like we used to, this could be more powerful. And you did it, flipping burgers, cooking hot dogs, having every Saturday, we were at Toronto Park. You used to invite the whole neighborhood, put flyers up, free food. The community just started coming together. And when the homies started seeing that, what were they doing? They were all sitting on the corner right there. We used to tell them, you can't come up in here with the alcohol. What you do over there is your business. And then after a while, they left the alcohol alone and they started coming over with us. And before you know it, half of them now become mentors. Me, you, Robert Jr., Blinky. I mean, the whole neighborhood, everybody.
That's a picture right there.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there it is right there. Everybody. Somebody told me that too the other day. They said, I can't remember where, but they told me, you're all the East Side, man, is always at all these meetings. I said, because all of our homies wanted to change their life. They got tired of it. It's not hard. That's why I tell homies from other neighborhoods when we have a one-on-one and I see them somewhere, they call me, homie, you got street credibility. You have knowledge and wisdom. You could do the same thing in your neighborhood. If you plant that seed, we can come and help you water it. But you got to plant that seed first because your homies know you. They're going to look at us like, okay, well, yeah, these dudes, well, we're here to help you. And that's why I tell everybody, it's got to be a group thing. Like Nikki said, we're all family. We all have something in common. We all did time. We're all tired. We want to change our life and get back to the community. And this is where I see it going. But like I said, when you told me back in when you got a corporate shoe that this was what you were going to do, I didn't have no doubts. I was mixed up. I didn't know. I said, how's he going to do
You didn't believe me? Hey, I didn't even believe myself.
It wasn't not a matter of believing you. I didn't know how you were going to do it. And then you started out simple basics, getting the neighborhood together, cooking hot dogs, like I said, and hamburgers, having a good time. And that everybody looked forward to that Saturday. It was a family outing. Strangers became family. Hate became love. Love became compassion. People started exchanging gifts. When we see some, hey, homie, do you guys got money? No, $20 here, $40 here. Use it wisely. It wasn't the amount of money, it's that the compassion that we were all showing because we used to spend that money on drugs and alcohol. And now we're giving to somebody to go put some food in the refrigerator. Then we started all this other stuff. So to me, man, you see how I get very animated because it's touching, homeboy. It's touching because I never knew I had these kind of feelings inside of me. I had a big old callus around my heart, the macho man, the mean man. You have to look like that when you're in that game. Now I say, man, I ain't got to do that no more. I don't. I could cry if I want to now. And I've learned now gangsters cry. You know what I mean? And now I can do that without, I know I've got a heart now, and it's a heart of gold because I don't want to see nobody suffer. I don't want to see nobody go through what Nikki went through, what you went through, what I went through, what anybody else has went through. They have a choice, man. And we're the reasons now to tell them, man, you don't have to go down that road to see how it is. Believe what we're telling you.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Rudy. And it takes your own people from your own neighborhood. It's hard to explain, but it
Yes, sir.
takes people from there to work with the neighborhood for it to really be effective. And
It becomes a trust thing. It's a trust thing.
it's the trusting, so thank you for sharing your wisdom and understanding, Rudy. Nikki, any thoughts? Take it away.
Yeah, the one thing I want to say when you think about everybody's transition, right? There's so many fears and so many insecurities of what's to come because it's unknown, it's unfamiliar, just like that image, right? We get so caught up in our identity, in our image, because we cultivated that and we let that sink as our truth for years, for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, sometimes 50 years. That becomes our only sense of security, is wrapped up in that image, in that identity. And so the fear of what's it going to look like without that, and for you guys to take a chance to let all of that go, to be so brave, because that's what it is. It's brave and courageous to try and cultivate something different, a different identity, a different being, right? And be so unknowing of what that's going to actually look like. When I think about that, it really just touches my heart and my soul, because I think of how hard we go for that image, how hard we go for that validation, right? But when I look at it from a different perspective, I think, God, how hurt are we that we have to go that freaking hard? How lost are we that we need that much validation from something outside of ourselves? Right. And so I say that with the most compassionate heart for the folks that are on that fence, that are struggling with that image, that are struggling with that security, because you guys are proof that there's so much peace, there's so much joy, there's so much affirmation, there's so much self-validation that leads to the next steps of growth, to just let them know, like, it's safe, it's okay to step away from that image. It's okay to no longer be that person that wants not only to harm themselves, but others, right? It's okay to do something just a little bit different. It might be fearful. It might be intimidating. It might not be, you might be super confusing. But the good thing is there's always somebody out there that wants better for you. Always. I don't care who that person is. Just like Rudy shared, the people that are celebrating his freedom, calling him up, are the people that they celebrate his new change, his new life. They're there in his corner. And them are the people that suffered probably the most when he was worried about that image. Them were the people that stood by his side the most when he was putting in that hard work and all of those efforts, right, to be destructive. And now they're celebrating his life, his soul, his being. There's always going to be somebody that's going to support you on the other side, especially when it's for the good. And I just encourage everybody, if you have somebody that's positive in your life, that can feed your soul and get you away from any type of negativity, that you reach out to them and allow that to be your go-to. And we have mentors here at Youth Empowerment that are willing to contribute that and to give you just a little bit of dose of that when you need that. Like Rudy said, he talks to his mentee 5 times a week. What a gift, right? But it's overcoming those fears and knowing that you do have the capacity to come up out of the pits, like Rudy said, to be something better, to have better for your life. And we deserve so much more than what we sell ourselves short in believing that we deserve for so very long. And so with that being said, I just want to thank you all so much for being present. You can like our page. Please follow us. We're here, community support. We love our community. We are our community. We are here for us, with us, by us, holding our hands, grinding together, hugging it out, doing anything and everything that we can to be a part of and support and embrace and just deposit love, 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 and more love, and lots more love. And so, boss, do you have some final words that you want to say?
No, just I'm just inspired, and you always inspire me, Nikki. Rudy, just it keeps me going. And I seen somebody's comment earlier when Rudy was saying uh, the part and from strangers to family. Wow, that's a powerful quote right there. Community coming together from strangers to family. I might have to steal that, Rudy, right?
Sign the contract. Nikki will be the contract. Hey, Arturo, before we close, I just want to say once again, it's not overkill. I just want you and Nikki to know how appreciative I am of both of you guys. I love you guys. You guys are my family. And I just want to let it be known too, without a good wife like the one I got and the one you got, Arturo, a lot of this wouldn't be positive, man, because
That's true.
you know, my wife, she keeps me grounded. She lets me see sometimes if I, you know, slipping. And it's just a little self-check because sometimes we get comfortable in our own skin. And when we do, we have a tendency of just, oh man, I got this mate. She'll remind me, like she'll see somebody call me and she'll go, and it'll be about politics. And I hang up. I tell her, hey, homie, I'm not into that no more. I'm good. I'm good. You want to change yourself? Here's your number. You see what I did with the little homie? I gave him your phone number. He just got out. And I gave it to him because this is the first step right here. This is the first step. So I just want to tell you guys how much I'm grateful. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, man. And I had to acknowledge my wife too. So I can get dinner tonight when I get home.
Give that queen a shout out. Give that queen a shout out.
Hey, Rudy, by the power invested in me, I don't do that no more. Stop calling me. Nikki, take it away.
Well, with that being said, definitely thank you all so much for being a part of this amazing conversation. Rudy, thank you for blessing this world with your greatness. Thank you for just I swear, for being just the human being that you are and the heart that you have, that it just comes off as just so welcoming and family, you know, family for sure. With that, everybody that's celebrating their free world life, congratulations on your free world life. I celebrate free world life. I encourage it. I promote it. I think it's amazing that we have came out of what we've come out of and we've been able to come out here and function in society. So welcome home, everybody. Boss, welcome home. Thank you for all of your hard work and everything you've done within this last 7 years, because you have definitely not just done it for yourself, you've done it for everybody. And so thank you so much for your freedom. Thank you so much for wanting more and for giving more to so many people. And with that being said, y'all be good to yourselves, do something kind for yourselves. Don't forget to give yourselves a powerful, solid self-affirmation and plant that seed for yourself and let it grow. With that being said, happy Tuesday. Thrive today, people. Thrive today.